Brightest blessings, everyone. Psychic medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess. Welcome to the Paranormal Priestess YouTube channel, and thank you so much for joining me today. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. I am a medium, divine channeler, remote spirit extractor specialist, white witch, and divine alchemist, and I also happen to be a divine feminine on the path of ascension, coming to you straight from the spirit chair, and always so glad to be here, so motivated to be. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a few key ways of which we can invite more love, more intimacy into our lives. And this is going to have to do with the heart chakra awakening. Now, I know that for many of you who are on spiritual awakenings, you're on the ascension journey, twin flame journey, going through a heart chakra opening is very overwhelming. It can often bring up a lot of pain from the past. And this is why it's so important to recognize what's happening, because if you can connect with it more fully, then you are going to assist with that transformation, with helping yourself to open yourself up. I know that love is the greatest risk that we'll ever take, but it is definitely worth it. So let's talk about some things. Why would a heart chakra become closed in the first place? I like it to break it down to JAR. So J for judgment, A for abandonment, R for rejection. So if you're wondering why you're going through some purges or you're going through releases, and a lot of pain, a lot of emotional pain is coming up, fears are coming up, a lot of it is going to be connected to those three things. So think of opening up a jar, kind of like, oh my gosh, opening up Pandora's box and be opening up the jar, right? Judgment, abandonment, rejection. So when we go through things in the past that have been painful, that have been hurtful, this is really going to be the foundation of what our relationship is like with ourselves. So let's just take rejection. Let's take rejection. This is something that comes up in everyone's histories. It certainly comes up in so many of the readings that I do for people. So just as an example, let's talk about the child self. Child self. You have one parent that's not connected with you. Perhaps maybe it's two parents that are not very connected. Maybe they just didn't have the time. For some people, they may come from a background which the environment was very dysfunctional, and they didn't feel, obviously, first of all, that safety, but second of all, they didn't feel that connectiveness, right? They didn't feel connected with. They didn't feel that love. That nurturing wasn't there. A lot of times maybe they were isolated or had to isolate themselves because they felt like that's just the safe thing to do. Whatever the situation was, someone might have lost a parent or two parents. Maybe there was a divorced situation. But these are ways in which we can experience rejection in many ways, abandonment as well. But with rejection, think of the child self that is not having their needs met. Think about the child that feels like, okay, so if mommy and daddy are not connecting with me in this way, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe it's a child that has gone through bullying, right? Because oftentimes, when we're children, kids can be cruel. It's a lot of people have gone through bullying, really rough times with that, and and you end up feeling rejected, right? Not good enough, not accepted. I don't feel like I belong. Yes, this can have a major impact on the heart chakra for sure, on our emotional bodies for sure. Rejection is really, really tough because what ends up happening is we build these stories, right? We build these narratives around why we think that we are rejected, right? And we start judging ourselves. There's the judgment. We start judging ourselves. I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not enough this, I'm not enough that. And we start creating these stories, and we start rejecting parts of ourselves, and then there comes the false identities or the false masks that we walk around with, and we feel like this is what's acceptable, and this is just the way I can get through life by navigating life in these masks. But really what's underneath that are rejection wounds. So if we can connect with that, if we can connect with times, if we can connect with those emotions, really connect with the heart, maybe breathe into the heart. Or breathe into the heart and have one hand on your belly, breathe in, and then breathe in, and really connect with the emotions and feel it out. It's really going to help out a lot. but rejection is certainly the first one. And the rejection goes from rejecting the self, and then when we go through relationships, we might have relationships that are very difficult where we were rejected by somebody, right? We were rejected. There are parts of us that we showed somebody, and they didn't connect with it, rejected us. And those experiences, again, are painful experiences, painful memories. We end up stuffing a lot of those down, repressing a lot of it down, and closing off our heart. Abandonment. Yes, abandonment is a tough one. I know for many of you, speaking from those who are starseeds, who are different types of souls, who are ancient types of souls, feeling different is something that often happens. You feel very different from your family, very different from your peers. And when you feel different, a lot of times you don't feel like you belong, or you're made to feel like you don't belong because people just don't understand how you think and feel. That's an abandonment right there. It's already an abandonment wound. And then again, if we go through experiences where we have been left by someone, like a past lover, if we have had, again, feeling abandonment from maybe parents, feeling abandoned perhaps in school, feeling alone, feeling isolated, again, feeling like you just don't belong and just can't be accepted for the real you, rejection and abandonment usually goes together. It's always going to be there. Okay, and that can cause us to, again, close ourselves down, shut ourselves down, be afraid to really experience intimacy because you're afraid of what someone might think, right? You're afraid that someone may reject parts of you. If you were to show the real self, if you were to show your true qualities, your honest, authentic self, that it may not be accepted. So there's that fear there. Or if you have been abandoned before, you might fear that someone might abandon you again, and you're afraid of having that pain happen again, so you close yourself off. So, some people, they don't express their emotions. That's one way it manifests. For others, it may be about just hardening the self, right? Just being very hard, maybe possibly very, very, just cold, hard exterior. Others, just feel like, okay, let me just experience a whole string of different relationships and have them be very surface level, nothing deep, fears of commitment, those sorts of things. Again, it's all about the heart chakra being closed, having that fear that someone is going to see the real you, the flaws, the imperfections, the scars and all, and fearing that that's just not going to be lovable, that's just not going to be acceptable. Judgment, of course, is always going to be in there. Okay? We get judged, right? And then we judge ourselves, right? And we judge others, and so it's like a circle that goes round and round and round. The inner critic may be very, very loud, right? Some people are really afraid to communicate their real truth, right? In a connection. Again, if you're afraid of communicating your real truth, if you're afraid of speaking true words that you want to say, if you are afraid of showing certain sides of you because they just may not be those acceptable sides, you're afraid to be judged by others, right? So then you shut those sides off. You basically parade around in a mask or a false identity and kind of say, all right, well, people like seeing this, or I can get by with showing this part of myself, this side of myself. But when someone does that, they really lose in the end because you're not able to open yourself up enough where you're having that really beautiful bond. And a beautiful bond happens in relationships, whether platonic or non-platonic, but that beautiful, deep, lasting, healthy bond happens when we can really be who we are no matter what. Again, imperfections, flaws, and all. And that someone is accepting us for us. Not because we are showing this facade that's acceptable. Not because it's just, what everyone wants to see out there, in social media land and things. We start losing ourselves when we do that, right? We start losing ourselves. to have a true lasting connection, to bring in, to attract in that love, that really beautiful, great, lasting, spiritual love, sacred partnership, lasting friendships. We want to be true to ourselves, right? We want to have that healthy relationship with ourselves. So think of jar. Okay, if you're experiencing pain, if you're experiencing emotions, if you're afraid of things like being alone, if you are having habits and behaviors come up, that's the other thing, when we develop beliefs, when we develop stories, narratives that are just very limiting, we end up going into these behaviors, going into these habits, even for some people going into these addictions where, again, it's not us, they're coping mechanisms, they're even distractions, but it's, again, a way in which people want to hide because they feel like if they show their true selves, that, again, it's just not going to be lovable, and that someone's going to pull away or end up hurting you again, and all of that. If someone has had a really bad experience, embarrassing experiences, painful divorce, painful breakups, things that were really, really hurtful because they've taken a chance with opening up themselves and then it went horribly wrong, those experiences, those emotional cords, those emotions, those beliefs and thoughts, those are things that we carry with us, and it closes us down. It closes us down. So my suggestion really is to think about how you relate to what I said. Next time you are having pain come up, you're having fear come up, anxiety come up, if you are judging yourself, if you're finding yourself really criticizing and judging yourself and having limiting beliefs come up, limiting stories, not good enough, can't do this, can't get anywhere, can't show this, because whatever it is, can't show the real me, write it down. Write it down. Get that out. I usually recommend journaling. Journaling is a great way of doing that. Journaling it and also breathing into it, really connecting. Again, breath, being able to connect with those emotions, really sit with it, allow for it, give yourself permission to be raw. Give yourself permission to be you. Give yourself permission to be the true, authentic you, the honest you. Because I guarantee the people who really are not for your best interest are going to be falling away, whether that's a relationship that you've had for a while, marriage, people that you've been dating, friends, even friends that you maybe have considered best friends, that when you really start coming into your own and you become confident and you connect and you heal these things within yourself and you take that inward journey, you get to really find out not only the truth about who you are, right, and feeling good, like doing things that make you feel good, things that are really you, that you're truly passionate about, that you truly care about, but you get to find out who the real people are. You get to find out who's really for you, who's really supporting you, who's really loving you and caring about you for who you are, not because of what you have or what you, money or influences or clothes or popularity or whatever. People are really going to show up for you and be the real deal, and some people are going to fall away, and that's good. They are painful experiences to have to find that out, but yet it's great that when you're taking yourself back, when you're choosing yourself, that you get to understand, okay, these relationships weren't really, those really powerful, healthy, intimate relationships, really based off of really true things, right? You get to find out otherwise, but you get to invite in. Finally, then you have that space open within you to invite in those who really are going to be the best relationships for you. And don't be surprised if a sacred partner or a true love all of a sudden starts coming in or comes in closer, or it starts orchestrating and all pulling together, because when you're you, when you're truly yourself, that's when the magic really starts happening. So I hope this video was really helpful for you. Hang in there. I know it's painful, but just see it as that everything has a message for you. And don't forget to take that time out for yourself, to just take that inward journey, whether it's meditating a few minutes a day, taking a walk and meditating, however you do that, speaking to your spiritual team, your guides, your higher self, and just simply really paying attention to what's going on, observing and witnessing what's going on within you, because it's going to tell you a lot, and it's going to really be gifts of transformation for you. So thank you so much, and if you're looking for more information on this, if you're looking for specifics to you, I am here. I'm here at theparanormalpriestess.com. I'll leave all that information below, and I will certainly do a personal reading for you. I even do light language healing sessions to help shift things and heal things up, activate you, but I would certainly love to support you further with a reading from your spiritual team. Thank you so much, and remember, from the heart of the darkness is born the light. Take care.